So if you look at these, they're kind of works of art. I mean, not kind of, they are works of art. I think
Oh,
they're
thank you.
really unique, cool things just to look at. They have a steampunk look. They look like something
Yeah,
that came out of
yeah,
the 1890s, right?
sure.
How much of these and the materials that go into them are material limitations due to when this was originally done? So if I made something in 1890, right, I had to use stuff that was around in 1890. I wasn't using a circuit board
Yeah,
or injection molded plastic because that wasn't even on the table.
yep.
So how does that play into it?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's one I've never really been asked. So the brass is essential for the collection of that current. It's an extremely good conductor and especially of telluric current. And Crystal Flu wrote about this extensively. The brass is important on the telluric rod. I wouldn't know another metal that I would want to use for that. Circuit board wise, there are some devices that have been built in the world of electroculture that utilize more like plastic molded circuitry, and they're not really antennas. They're more like things you plug in or DC powered little units for house plants, or they're not really agricultural, although they're very neat, like they're very cool. Like I just mean they're not really something a farmer might be able to apply as far as I see, but that may be just something I'm not seeing. I'm not trying to speak for anyone else's equipment really. Um,
What's this?
However, go
Oh,
ahead.
and
The
sorry to
copper
interrupt.
is paramagnetic. You know,
Okay.
copper is paramagnetic. We want to use copper wherever possible. Copper is the divine metal to work with. I mean, on all levels. Um, you know, the story on copper from like this, I guess I would say kind of the mainstream scientific world is that it's created through the explosion of stars and it's a very cosmic metal, has a paramagnetic energy, which we do call like a cosmic energy in biodynamics. That's why we add the basalt, which is paramagnetic. My antennas are also core filled with paramagnetic basalt. The original antennas from France were a magnetic core, a magnetic base, like just an actual magnet. I've chosen to use paramagnetic basalt core filling because raw basalt is like the only rock or one of the only rocks that's highly capacitory, has a high capacitance in its raw form. So it can turn the unit into a basalt battery, essentially. It capacitates the energy that isn't directly being taken.
How how different are the ones in China now? Like, so you're saying, hey,
Oh,
there's some stuff
we're talking about big like AC or DC power, I guess like big generator powered systems.
more, we're
Like
not
I'm talking about
harvesting
like
it, we're forcing power
yeah,
in.
yeah, 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 and they're blasting little bolt like, you couldn't run like a 110 current on your garden for more than a couple hours. It might be beneficial for, like, short periods of it would be beneficial for short periods of time, but if you just let that run, it would be too much. It would kill your crops. So the feeble voltage all the time from free energy is what I'm advocating from electromagnetic energy. What China's doing is like a very Frankenstein industrial version. I was just pointing out the fact that you can go see that the all the reports from all the World Economic Forum and all that are basically just are verbatim saying how insane the yields are, how insane the productivity is. At the same time, you'll see a little bubble pop up that's kind of trying to be, I won't even use the term skeptic, just reductionist and, you know. But you also have a lot of issues out here with misinformation on electroculture. So I don't even blame people for being skeptics because mostly what you're seeing is people wrapping craft wire on sticks from the yard.
What's the difference between that? So I take your antenna and I wrap wire around. Is that a case
Well,
of um
my antenna is connected to a ground wire.
okay, but there's two things it could be. And now
Mhm.
if I so if you're let's just say yours is 10 out of 10, best of best. And 0 out of 10 is I'm doing nothing. Is wrapping wire around a stick like a 2 out of 10? Hey, it's better than nothing, or is it more equivalent to like you might as well not even do it?
Man, out of love for humanity, I'll give it a 2 out of 10.
All right, there we go.
I don't wanna make people like I don't wanna be a person saying don't or no. That's not what I'm trying to do by pointing this out. It's just to say that the amazing realities of electroculture far surpass the fantastical simplicity that's being pushed. Like far. So like if you think what's happening with your wrap stick is cool, then man oh man, try this is what I'm saying. Like honestly, with the electrical science of it, I mean, wood is conductive when it's wet, so it's just going to ground right out to that point. That's, where it's stuck in the ground to that little spot. Boom, boom. If it's doing anything, which that copper could be collecting a little something, but I do see people pulling them out from underneath the plants, which then would not, because you would be blocking that collection for the most part. Because this is from the solar winds. There's a cosmic energy from the sun. That's the positive.